All right. Hello, I am Marie. I'm on the client services team here at Libris by PhotoShelter. And today I'm going to be walking you through the main features of your new Libris account. When you get started, you can log in at either photoshelter.com/mu for multi-user, or you can go to libris.photoshelter.com and there's a login button at the top right. After you log in, you're probably going to be at this screen here, which is the home page. The tiles in the center of the screen change on occasion based on new features we've released or updates that we think you should check out and that you might like to see. This is also where you can find my contact details and the rest of the client services team. So if you're working with an account manager on the team, the best way to reach them is always this email address, librissupport@photoshelter.com. Or you can give us a call Monday through Friday, 9 through 6 Eastern Standard Time. We also have a link here to our support center. It's the same link as the help option in the top right. Our support center is a really great resource because it's broken down by user role. So the backend users whom this video is for, your section is help for admins, editors, and taggers. For contributors, people who have permission to upload only into the account, this section is written from their perspective. And for portal users, the kinds of users who need to view and download files from your public-facing portal site, this section is for them. So let me close this tab. The first question when you're getting started with Libris is who will need access to absolutely every file, and who's going to be managing those files stored in your Libris account. There's two sides to Libris. There's this back-end side where all of your files are stored, and there's a portal side. I'm going to use my personal portal as a demo for today. You can see I have a nice little homepage image here. I have some standard hyperlinks in my navigation and also some custom hyperlinks that take users to other pages outside of my Libris portal. I've also edited my portal text to include a couple emojis just to make it fun and interesting. All of the portal customization settings are found under admin and portal settings. So when it comes to the back-end side, who needs access to manage this account, you can find those users under admin and library staff. We have an administrator on the account. This person can handle absolutely everything about the account, including billing and payment information. The administrator also manages who sits in an editor seat. Editors have the same exact access as the admin. The only difference is they can't control billing on the account and they can't remove one another from the editor seats. I'm set up with a basic subscription, so I only have 2 seats, admin and editor. But you can always purchase additional editor or even tagger seats to help have a team collaborate and manage the back end of your Libris account. Taggers are a slightly more restricted version of the editor seat. They can log in, they can see all of your files stored in your library, but they cannot delete files, they can't rename files, they can't move collections and galleries or files. So this role was really created to give maybe a student or an intern the option to help you tag your files with metadata and help organize things, make it searchable. But they can't do certain things that might harm your library, like deleting files by accident. The 2 users who can delete files are admin and editors. Those are the 2 fully functional roles. Admins, editors, taggers, and contributors can all upload into your Libris account. Contributors are different than admins, editors, and taggers because contributors can't see what they upload into your Libris account. So they log into an upload method and submit files to you. They'll receive a confirmation message that their files, their upload is complete, but then the onus is on the administrator and the editors and essentially the taggers too, to take action on the files that the contributors have submitted to them. When you're adding an editor, a tagger, a contributor, the process is really simple. You just click this Add New button, and you're prompted to enter their email address and their first name and last name. At that point, the user will receive an email notification. This email will prompt them to set a password to go with their login if they haven't already established one with PhotoShelter in the past. With that login, admins, editors, contributors, you can all upload into your Libris account. So how does one upload? That's found under Media and Upload Methods. We have about 6 different upload methods that you can use to get files into the Libris account. The easiest upload method is actually going to be our web uploader. It's listed up top. This link takes you to a support center page that reviews how it works. When you're an admin or editor and you want to add files to your Libris library, you'll navigate to a gallery and drag and drop files into the center pane of your library, into that gallery. I'll show you this in a moment, but this is really the easiest way to upload files, and it accepts all file types. So you can select all different kinds of file types and add them to the gallery all at the same time. The second upload method that allows you to upload all file types in batch would be incoming FTP. Incoming FTP is unique in that you can actually upload whole file folders full of other folders and other assets. So picture if you're on your computer, going to your documents and selecting a whole file folder. Using FTP, you can upload a folder. It pairs with a collection. And Libris will pull in absolutely everything inside that folder and maintain that nested hierarchy and structure. In the other example, you could upload files into a specific gallery. So if you're setting up a workflow where you have a freelance photographer added as a contributor, and then you want to give them their FTP username and password so that they can upload to a specific event gallery that you've created before the event occurs. FTP is one way to direct a contributor's upload to a specific gallery in your Libris account. It's actually the only way to direct a contributor's uploads to a specific destination in your Libris account. For all of the other upload methods, contributors, there's a default landing zone, a default collection called incoming files, which I'll show you in a minute, where those contributors upload the land. Contributors can also use the web browser to upload. They actually log in at your portal site, and when they do, the system knows that they're on your contributors list, so it displays an upload option in the top right pane of the portal site. If they click that, they're taken to a really simple web browser uploader where, again, they just drag and drop files from their desktop. It could be an external hard drive, it could be a synced Dropbox account. They're dragging files however they can browse to them in their desktop to this center pane, and they're queued for upload. As soon as the contributor gives the upload a description, the upload icon is clickable, it's enabled, and then when they click it, they see a progress bar, and it confirms their file upload is complete. So that's how the contributors can upload using the web browser. We have a free mobile app. It's called the Libris Uploader app, and you can download it from the Apple Store or Google Play, and admins, editors, contributors, again, they can log in and upload video files or image files from their phone straight to your Libris account. They select the files in their camera roll, they describe the upload, and again, it confirms that they want to upload, and then they see a progress bar until the upload is complete. We also have, we're a part of PhotoMechanic. So this is a popular third-party software application professional photographers sometimes use to organize their files and apply metadata to files. To set this up, the photographer will go to File, Upload, and then select PhotoShelter from the drop-down and use either their admin, editor, or contributor login to log in. If you're an admin or editor, you'll see a destination collection gallery. You'll pick a gallery where you'll upload into. If you're a contributor, you do not see a destination. Again, contributors have that blind upload. So it lands as a new gallery in the incoming files collection. Lightroom, similar. there's a free plugin you can download from the support center here. You install the plugin in Lightroom in the plugin manager, and then you'll export files from your Lightroom catalog to Libris. That's as simple as selecting thumbnails in the center pane of Lightroom, going to File, Export, and it'll default to hard drive, but you just need to toggle it to Libris. And then you'll see the option to log in with your Libris credentials here, whether you're an admin, editor, or photographer or contributor. If you're an admin or editor, again, you can pick where you want your upload to land. If you're a contributor, you won't see the option to pick, but if you create a new gallery, that will kind of name your gallery that comes into the incoming files collection. So a couple other options you're going to want to be mindful of. And after you click upload, Lightroom works image by image to upload files to Libris. So it could take a little bit longer than a method like FTP or the web uploader, but it's really nice when you work with a contributor, a freelance photographer. If they're already using Lightroom in their workflow to edit the files, they like uploading straight from Lightroom to your Libris account. It saves them a step. So those are the main upload methods. We do have our own app. It's called the Desktop Uploader. It only supports image file types, so that's why I saved that one for last. It's our oldest upload method. It looks very similar to FTP. You log in to your Libris account in the right pane. You see your computer's files in the left pane, and essentially you select what you want to upload in the left pane and match it with a destination in Libris in the right pane, and once you do, the transfer button illuminates. Because it only supports image file types, I strongly recommend the web uploader or FTP because these two upload methods support all file types. So after you've uploaded files, where do they go? They go to your library. So if you click library in the top navigation, files, like I said, but uploaded by contributors or admins and editors using the mobile app will land in incoming files. Incoming files is a system collection, so even if you delete it, if someone uploads something to your Libris account, it'll get recreated automatically. The new gallery the contributor uploads contains the word up, a gallery description the contributor has added, their first initial, their last name, and the date of upload. So as you receive files from your contributors, from your freelance photographers, it's really clear to see what they're uploading, what it's from, who sent it, and the date that they sent it. I have a couple other collections here, and I suppose I should back up and go over that vocabulary too. So what we're looking at in the library are 3 panes. Collections are designated with the folder icon. They are placeholders. They do work like folders on your desktop. However, collections cannot hold files. Only galleries can hold files in Libris. Galleries have the icons with the 4 dots. So when I say a contributor uploads a new gallery, it lands in the incoming files collection. I think that's a little more clear now what that looks like. As I click around in the left pane, my center pane is changing to show me the contents of what I've selected in the left pane. So I see 4 galleries in my incoming files collection. Sure enough, I see 4 galleries, 4 items in my center pane. Whatever I select in the left or center pane, the right pane changes to tell me more information about my selection. So if I need to rename a collection or gallery, I simply select the one I want to rename and just click where I see its title in the right pane. I also have these blue hyperlinks. Every collection, gallery, and file in Libris has a direct portal link. Whether or not someone can see it depends on permissions that you apply and manage to the collections and galleries in your account. So if I ever need to share a direct link, I can copy it and paste it and put it in an email or Slack it to someone. However, I also need to check and make sure that the person I'm sending it to has permission to see the link that I'm sharing. I can navigate to a gallery and show you what the web uploader looks like. So I set up, now my library area is, I have a couple test collections here. Yours will probably start with just our library. That's a system, it's a default when we set up your trial account, when a new Libris account is created. So if you want to rename it or delete it, that's totally up to you. I recommend starting at this library level and building your library, creating new collections and galleries from this topmost level. This left pane is drag and drop friendly. So if you ever need to reorganize, you simply click and drag and drop. This will help you nest collections inside of collections and also galleries inside of collections. If I need to move something, like I just moved test gallery into test collection. If I need to move it out, I simply drop it over library again. It's warning me that I'm moving it to the topmost level, the library level. I'm okay with that. Oh, let me just refresh. Perfect. So I want to test the web uploader. I can drag and drop files into the center pane. I can also use the upload button when I'm in a gallery. Sometimes this is preferable because it has the select files option. This is where I can browse my computer and find what I'm looking for. So I downloaded some files earlier today. I'm going to open those too. I can also, let's see, I have some test files. I can upload zip file, MP3, let's do a PowerPoint. Here's the drag and drop option right to the center pane. It's very similar. Okay, so as you can see, the image files, video files will both have like a thumbnail preview of the content. If it's audio, Office file type, or zip file, or other file type, you'll see some system icons, some regular icons we've created to represent those files. The image files, click a single image. Again, if I need to edit the file name, I can do so by clicking up here. Always keep everything after the period and everything after it. You need that file extension so the computer can read the file when it's downloaded. We do have a way of editing files in batch, so if you need to rename in batch, I just held down Command on my Mac. You can use, I think it's Control on a PC or Shift, and click to select more than one item. You could also use the Select All option if you need to select the entire gallery. So to rename in batch, it's telling me I can't do it in the right pane. I need to look to this Actions pane in the center. I can rename images. Here it's asking me for my prefix, and then I just need to pad with zeros depending on how many files I'm actually renaming in this batch. Another thing I can do when I have a single file selected is I can take a look at its IPTC metadata. So IPTC metadata is industry standard fields that are available on image files that your photographers, anyone who has a software program or a Libris account, PhotoShelter account, they can edit file metadata. Why would they do that? Well, it helps make your file searchable by something other than the file name. So right now I could find this image by searching for Safari, but maybe there's other things that are happening in this image that I don't want to put in the file name, but I do want to discover this image by search, by typing those things into my IPTC metadata. So to edit a single file's metadata, I'll click the pencil icon. This drops open all of the possible fields I could enter metadata into. The only fields that matter for file search in Libris are the file name, description caption, title, keywords, city, state, and country. If you put your photographer's name or credit provider, who you want someone who uses this file to give credit to, you can do that. That's great. However, if you want it to be searchable by this information, you also have to add it to one of the fields that I just mentioned that are indexed for search. So file name, description caption, title, keywords, city, state, country. So I've just made some edits to this individual image. And I click the check mark to save, and now you can see my edits are saved. I can also edit in batch. So if I, again, use my option to select more than one image file, I can edit image file, IPTC metadata, and batch from the actions dropdown. Here I'm shown all of the possible fields once more. If I start typing in one of the IPTC metadata boxes, if I save, the default is to append the existing data, so it won't overwrite. You notice those two images had totally different keywords. The append option means it's only adding on this keyword, whatever I type here, in addition to what already exists. I could overwrite. I could clear out the field and type a whole new bunch of keywords for both images. I would just uncheck this box before saving. If I need to do a file search, and I'm in the library, it's in the top left corner here, file search. The keywords box is again looking in the file name, IPTC description, caption, title, keywords, city, state, country. So anything I type in this box, Safari, it's going to bring up a bunch because I have other photos named Safari, but the image that I was just looking at would be displayed here too. I can sort by date uploaded, and I'll toggle it other direction. There's the file I just uploaded. I could also search by, let's see, Kosha is one of the keywords on this file. And now, again, I have other files tagged with that tag, but the one I uploaded today is pulling in my search results. I can also narrow my file search down by, maybe I only want video files from Metosha, or maybe I only want to search within a specific gallery, so I would need to use the specific gallery name in this box for that file. Maybe I want to search by contributor. Maybe I want to search by the freelance photographer who uploaded the files. Maybe I also want to cull my search results down by only vertical orientation. Maybe I want to use star rating. If anyone in Lightroom has ever rated the image with a star rating, or you start using the star ratings in Libris, you can search and you can sort by star rating in the library. Another popular attribute to narrow things down by is IPTC date, which is the date the image was created. So in this case, I could search only the files of Etosha from November 1st through November 30th, 2012, and try and pull in all the files that were created within that date range. And I have a little calendar here to select. Or maybe I want to narrow things down by upload date. Only things uploaded within the last couple days. Oops, I should do. Here's the file I just uploaded. So these tools are really powerful. Why would you want to search by upload date? Well, let's say 2 weeks ago, you had a photographer submit a batch of files. In the meantime, you've already split, maybe you've reorganized things and you're not sure where it's located. You could kind of recreate that photographer's upload by searching by upload date and narrowing things down to return a search result box, all the images in the center pane. And then maybe there's some action you want to take on the files once you've narrowed them down. In that case, you would go to actions. Maybe you want to add an additional IPTC metadata tag. Maybe you want to send the files to someone from your search results. You can do a quick send. That is when you send files either from search results or from a gallery to someone. So you get to pick the file size, you being the admin or editor. Let's say I only want to send a large JPEG. When I click submit, I'm given a download link that's valid for 7 days. So I can share this with an unlimited number of people. I could put it in an existing email, or I could use this email template, share it with my colleague, give them a little heads up about what it is, personalize it a bit. When I click submit, Alex would receive this email. Yeah, it's a link that could be shared among others. Again, they only have 7 days, so you'll just need to remind them that they have a week to download what you've sent them. They'll receive the actual file and a zip file if it's multiple files. That's a little bit about file search. Let's see. We have another type of metadata. It's unique to Libris. It's called custom metadata. This is managed under admin and metadata settings. It's a way to create fields and predetermined tags in a list and then apply those tags to files. You can apply one tag per field per file, and it only works on image files. You can then decide if you want to display this custom metadata field as a drop-down for searching the library and possibly the portal side. So what this looks like on the portal, when the portal user does a search, here's the project status custom metadata field. So how I see this being used, the portal user types a keyword like that into the keywords box, again searching the file name, description, caption, title, keyword, city, state, country of the IPTC metadata. They could use it in conjunction with any files that are tagged with a custom metadata tag and pull in, files that meet both requirements. So custom metadata tags, you would set up your list of tags first. Here's a university example. You have some different departments. Then, just like you would tag files with image metadata, you would tag images with custom metadata either individually. So I could set a project status and check to save. I could also tag images in batch with custom metadata. It's below IPTC. It's edits, submit. So now when I use the file search on the library side and I go for project status, needs edits, search, I have these two files that pop up. Again, I can use that in conjunction with IPTC. I do see a lot of overlap when clients use IPTC and custom metadata. They may do this because IPTC metadata is embedded on your image files when your file is downloaded from Libris. Custom metadata is not embedded on your image file, so you lose this information once someone downloads it from the library or the portal side. So IPTC, I feel like, has a long-term value, which is why most people focus on IPTC. And I also feel like most people focus on IPTC keywords because it's like imagining what would you Google in order to find this image as a result. It's a really fun exercise in thinking about how is my organization going to describe things. You can come up with a set keyword list in a shared document like a Google Doc, and something as simple as just copying existing keywords and pasting them on that doc gives your colleagues, your other editors, a way to reference the words that you're using, so hopefully they use the same tags that you do as well. If you really want to standardize this, that's why some people like the custom metadata in addition, so that way everyone is using the same terminology because the tags are preset and there's no misspelling that way. However, again, it's one tag per field per file, so it's not ideal for something like players because if you have more than one player in the image, you wouldn't be able to choose two custom metadata tags. Keywords is more ideal when you're typing the names of the players that are in a photo. So that's a little bit about metadata. I mentioned the left pane is drag and drop friendly, but you can also drag and drop files to other galleries in the account. So I'll drop it in that second gallery. So Libris confirms I moved my item. This file now lives in this gallery. If you ever want to confirm what gallery a file is located in, drop open this located in box when you are looking at an image file, and it'll tell you the most recent collection and the gallery it's contained inside of. So that's handy. The next really cool feature is the ability to make one image file appear in more than one gallery. Why would you do this? Well, if you want to curate a gallery for someone and then either quick send it to them or share it with them so they can reference it time and time again, you know, that's this virtual copy function is how you do it. So if I want an image to appear in this July event gallery, and I also want it to appear in my test gallery, I select the file and I go to Actions and Add to another gallery. Move, again, is like dragging and dropping. It picks it up and moves it to the new destination. Add will create a virtual copy. Virtual copies don't take up any additional space in your Libris account. So you can have one file stored with Libris and it can appear in, you know, an unlimited number of galleries. So I'm going to upload this to test. Ooh, which test gallery? The one with 4 images. That's another good lesson. Try to avoid naming galleries with the same exact name, because when you use this function, you can see how it's really difficult to tell them apart. Luckily, I have a different number of files in each of my galleries named test gallery, so I know it's the one with 4 images. I click submit. Looks like a little visual bug there, but if I refresh, if you ever see duplicated items in the left pane after taking an action, just refresh the whole page and it should clear it up. And here's my virtual copy. Now, both files are an original file, so there's no like this one is the original, the other one's a copy. Both are the original. So if I edit the file name or if I edit the metadata, it applies to all copies. So if I want to jump from one gallery to the image in another gallery, I can use the located in dropdown to do so. And if I ultimately decide, ooh, I don't want it in this gallery anymore, but I want to keep it in all of the other galleries it's located in, I go to Actions and I use Remove from Gallery. Don't delete, because if you delete, you're telling the system to remove the one original file and put it in the trash. That removes all of the copies from all of the galleries. Remove from Gallery only removes the file, the image from the gallery you're sitting in at present when you click this action. So it always confirms, whether you delete or remove, it always confirms. I click submit, and then notice my file still lives now in one location. If you delete a file, it lives in your trash. It lives in your trash forever until you click empty trash. So I have about 6 gig in my trash right now. If you do a file search, you will see matches for files that live in your trash, because it is like, it's kind of almost like a collection. It is a it's a, you know, holding place until you actually purge your trash and permanently delete those files. The last step in setting up your Libris account is managing the permissions applied to your collections and galleries so that other people can use this portal site to find what, you know, they want. The eye icons and the arrow icons relate to these are your collection and gallery permissions. The I stands for who can see this collection or gallery on the portal, and the arrow stands for who can see it, you know, or who can download it if they can see it. There are 3 colors and it works like the stoplights. So red is no one. It's totally private. Only the admins and editors can see this content when they're working in the library. There's yellow, which means those with permission. Someone has permission to either see and download from these collections and galleries while they're browsing your portal site. Green means everyone, anyone on the internet, the general public. So a green eye means it's publicly visible on the portal. A green arrow means it's publicly downloadable, so it's free download on the portal site. There's the permission settings. There are, you know, 2 main types of permissions for downloading, and also, you know, for visibility. There's a password permission and a login type of permission. So the eye and arrow icons work together. So right now you're seeing they're both red. They can also work separately. So you can imagine there's a couple different color combinations. You could have a green eye and a red arrow. That would be publicly visible on the portal, but no one can download anything from that collection or gallery. You could have a yellow eye and a red arrow. Someone with a login or someone with permission on the portal password on the portal can see it, but once they see it, they can't download. You could have a yellow eye, yellow arrow. Someone can log in and see it. Someone has a link and a password and can see it. And once they can see it, they can also download. So by editing each level's collection, or each level's eye and arrow icon, you're essentially opening up access. We have something called inheritance. So if the color looks a little bit shaded out, transparent, that's your indicator that this sub-collection is inheriting from the parent collection. And you can proof this by hovering over the collection's eye and arrow icon, clicking this gear, and sure enough, you can confirm, yep, this collection is inheriting its permission from, it's private, from 2017 events. You can also keep in mind that if something is set to be publicly visible, like this gallery, inside of a private collection, no one can actually see that publicly visible gallery by browsing, because your parent collection is private. It's hiding the publicly visible gallery from the portal site. It's not something I would recommend doing. It's just, you know, a common mistake, a misconception that in order for someone to be able to browse to it, the top parent collection would need to be public, as well as, you know, everything inside of it. So I'm going to move my test gallery inside of my test collection, and then I can show you a little bit about inheritance and those permission settings. So both have bold colors, which means they each have their own unique settings at this moment. I first want to edit my test gallery and make it inherit from the test collection. I recommend this because it streamlines my permission setting process, and also it streamlines the view for my user. So once they can see test collection, they can navigate down into the test gallery. So to edit the test collection's permission, I'm clicking over the eye and arrow. Here are my stoplight colors, green, yellow, and red for my eye icon. Who can see this on the portal site? Can everyone? Can the public see it? No. I think I want only my colleagues and only my business partners to be able to see this content. I don't want search engines on the internet to find my content. So I want to apply a permission to visibility. So I select those with permission. That will turn my eye icon to a yellow color. So I can save and check that that's true. Yes, so now I have those with permission setting for visibility. I haven't actually set that permission yet, but you can, you know, just preview that it changed to yellow. And then I have a red arrow, which means I'm going to apply a permission, but no one can download yet. So I need to set up that download permission, and also explain, you know, how someone can log in with it or use a password to see it. So I click add permission. My two options are password or people/group. I can't use any portal visitor because that's public download access, and I didn't set it to be publicly visible, so I wouldn't make it publicly downloadable. I want someone to either use a hyperlink and a password or log in first in order to see the content in my Libris account via this portal, and also download. So the first option I'll go over is the password. This box is looking for me to type a password. So I'll just do ABC123, something really simple. I could set an expiration date for my password. Because it's applied on visibility, once this date happens, let's say this Friday, no one will be able to use this password to even see my files anymore. But I don't want to use a password, so I don't want to use an expiration date, so I'm going to remove that. Now that I've set a password, I can save. Now I've set it so anyone who has a link to this collection or gallery plus this password can view only. They can't download, they can only see. That would be a yellow eye with a password permission and a red arrow. If I want to set it so the user with the link and the password can also download once they enter that password, I just need to pick the largest file size I would like the user to be able to download. So let's say for this password, I only want them to be able to get a medium JPEG or smaller. I'm not going to bother with the video, audio, or other, but if I wanted to, I could also set a resized MP4 version. Audio and other, always original file, because we don't have resized options for those. So if I want to notify someone about this password, I could use the save and notify option. And it brings me to a place where I can send a system email from Libris telling a random person or a bunch of people, let's see, marketing team, I'll go over how I got that in a minute, about this collection, which again, I can, edit this template and I can customize, I can personalize it a bit. The gist though is really just to email them this collection link and the password that's good for viewing and downloading. I can preview what this email looks like before I send it as well. So if I click submit, it would go to the people I listed here, but I'm not going to do that. Notice the arrow turned to yellow because now when someone enters the password, they also have a download permission. The other way to share a password is to copy the direct collection or gallery link from the right pane when I select the gallery in the left pane. If I want to test this, I can open a second web browser and I can paste the link. And because my password is applied on visibility, it's prompting me for the password immediately. Now that I've entered the password, I have permission to see the files, and I can download in batch. I can download the whole gallery. It's only letting me download 2 of those files because again, I only had view-only access for the other file types. Here's what it looks like when I want to download a single image. Again, my password was only valid for medium and smaller files, resized JPEG sizes, so that's why I'm only seeing 2 options here. If the password had been good for original file size, I would have seen all the resized JPEG options plus the original file. We'll never upsize, so if you give someone 4800 pixel JPEG access and the image is only 1200 pixels large, they won't get an upsized JPEG. They'll get the 1200 pixel JPEG even if they select 4800 pixels. If the user has a login and they've forgotten about it, or if they have a different password that they know has more options or the file size they're looking for, they can switch to logging in or trying a different gallery password to gain that access. Passwords are typically used when you want to direct their attention to a very specific collection or a gallery or a bunch of galleries, and they're not going to browse. They're not going to jump around and try to find other content. Their focus is very narrow. It's on this gallery, and there's no other navigation right now because everything else is totally private in this Libris account. If I had publicly visible files, which I can show you, I toggle to everyone. Here's a green eye and a yellow arrow. Green eye, it's visible to everyone, but yellow arrow because in order to download, they need this password. Save. If I refresh, now in my galleries area in the left pane, because of the green eye, I can see how someone can browse. They don't need to enter a password in order to see it on my portal. They can just browse straight in, and then I've already entered the password. The browser cache remembered that, so that's why I can still download. If you have a colleague or a stakeholder, someone who will need regular access to this portal site to browse and download files, I really recommend adding them as an invited user. It's a free user seat in your Libris account, and they'll manage their own login to obtain files from the portal site. So the first step to that process is adding them as an invited user. This area works like an address book. So you can add individuals by their email address. They'll have no idea that you've added them to your invited users list. The notification step actually comes last. So I've added a couple users here. I can also add user groups. Why create user groups? Well, when you're granting those permissions, like where you saw me enter the password, it goes a lot faster to grant an entire group of 50 people the same permission than it would to enter 50 separate permissions in that dialog box. So if you have 2 users who will need the same download file type, the same download file size from the same collections and galleries, group them together into user groups based on that download permission. So here's a couple ideas. A view-only group, users who will be able to log in and see files but not download files. We offer single sign-on as an add-on to Libra so you can purchase. So if your company has an Active Directory and you want to use that to control who should be added or not added, who should be able to use a portal site or not in your Libris account, that's something we can also review. But if you're not using single sign-on, it's manually adding users to this list. You can import from Google Contacts or Yahoo. If you have a CSV file, you can email it to your Libris account manager. It's first name, last name, and email address. They can do a one-time, really big batch import if that will save you time with getting up and running with this invited users list. So when I add users to a user group, I'm selecting, again, using command and clicking and dragging and dropping to a specific user group. So I'll add us to the marketing team. And if I want to check who is in what group, I just click the group in the left pane and it'll show me. I can click all contacts to see my full list once more. The next step, let's grant the group permission to use a login on the portal side to see this collection and the gallery inside of it. So I edit the collection permission. I'm going to drop it back down to those with permission. I'm going to layer a permission. So I can have password permission that I share with one group of people, maybe once off, it was an event, it's a one-time thing, they should be able to download some small files for free with this password. But I also have colleagues in the marketing team who want access to these files from my event, and they should have original file access for the entire collection and all of the galleries inside of it. So with the people/group, this box is looking for either an individual invited user, because you could invite 1 or 2 invited users, or however many, give them unique permissions. But like I said, the marketing team, the user group is a easier way to grant large groups of people the same access. Same option to use the expiration date. Let's say after December 31st, the marketing team should no longer see these assets or be able to download these assets because we just don't want them used in our, by our team anymore. That would be one way to prevent them from seeing these assets after a specific date because the permissions applied to visibility. The last step, like I mentioned, is notification. I could save at this point if I'm not ready to tell the marketing team about their access, and then I could go on to edit other collections and galleries, granting the marketing team access. I basically just repeat this process until I'm happy with the number of collections and galleries they have permission to see and download from in my Libris account. When I'm ready to notify them, there are 2 options. I can use the built-in save and notify option. So I don't want to email the password. I want to send email to people/groups, and I want to email the whole group. And I want to get them to click this automatically generated URL. What happens is when the user clicks the URL, they're prompted to set a password for their login, for their email address that they'll use on your Libris portal every day moving forward. If I don't want to ask the whole group, if maybe there's only 1 or 2 people in the group that I want to tell about their access, I'll send them to my Libris portal URL /signup. This sign up page is a publicly visible link. I could even put in my portal navigation a direct link to it if I wanted to and call it sign up. If the user is on my invited user list and types the same exact email address I have in my invited user list and sets a password to go with their login and clicks sign up, that's essentially registering their password to go with their email address. And because they're on my invited users list, because they're part of a user group that has been granted permission to see and download files, after signing up and setting that password, they're immediately able to see and download from the collections and galleries on the Libris portal. So those are the two ways to notify new users. Either use the save and notify email or send them to the sign up page at portal URL/signup. So right now in Safari, I'm a user who's entered a, notice nothing is visible on the portal side. I'm a user who's once entered a password, but I haven't actually logged in. I don't have, I don't have permission to see anything because everything has a yellow eye or a red eye in my library. I could log in as an invited user. I already have an established password, obviously. So I'm going to click login. So as an invited user, I see invited galleries in the left pane. These are all of my collections and galleries with a yellow eye. So I'm able to browse down into these collections and galleries to find the files that I'm looking for. In this case, it was test collection, test gallery. And remember, we granted the marketing team permission to download the original file, which means they see the option to download the original file and everything smaller. So that is the workflow. Essentially, the invited user can also search the portal site. The project status, if I remember, was needs edits. And here are those two files with that custom metadata tag for needs edits. They can also download individual files from search results at this time. So that's a little bit of the Libris workflow. On an ongoing basis, it's checking incoming files to see if a contributor has uploaded any files. It's managing invited users, those regular users like colleagues who will need to use the portal site to view and download media. And it's tagging files with metadata to make sure that the people who are using your portal site, the other editors who are using the Libris account can find the files that they're looking for. I mentioned the portal settings. That's where you can edit your branding, your navigation bar, your footer, and turn on visual watermarks. That's another setting we offer. We also offer some really basic reports like a download log. It's your last 90 days worth of downloads, so you'll want to export a CSV file every 90 days, every quarter, if you want to track a whole year's worth of downloads. So that is everything. If you have any questions at all, again, feel free to reach out to me, librasupport@photoshelter.com, or call our phone number here. We're always happy to help. So thanks so much for joining, and I hope to hear from you soon.